Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Becca, and today we are going to do a little bit of a post-neglect houseplant update. So a lot of my plants have suffered some severe neglect in the last couple of weeks. I had a baby more than a couple months ago. 9 months ago at this point, and I have had postpartum depression and anxiety, and it's manifested itself in, some pretty normal ways. And also I think that we had a little bit of seasonal depression, which explains me filming probably my 4th video today because the sun is out. So finally I feel productive and like I can show up to the world. So let's talk about how my plants are making it through. So you saw that Adam and Nicole came over to my house and they did amazing work on my plant room. I'm so excited to show you everything. There was so much transformation that I feel like I genuinely need an entire video to show you, so that's why I'm doing this. We got rid of some plants. I have some thoughts on the plant wall and how I want to shift it and change it, because if something isn't working for you, just change it. There's no standard that anybody is holding me to that like I need to keep the wall exactly how it is, because it's just not working for me as it currently is. I need to edit it because I just can't take care of the amount of plants that the wall would hold. And I've tried to fill it, and every time I've tried to fill it, I lose plants. I go into a depressive episode, and it's just, I can't. I also want to say that I'm going to do like a full formal houseplant tour, and that's coming soon. Now that my room is beautiful and gorgeous and everything perfect, I feel really confident to show it now. So I think that I'm gonna be working on that, and it'll be like a spring houseplant tour, 2024 spring houseplant tour. I'm really excited. Okay, so I have a diffuser sheet up right now, so ignore that. But this area has always kind of puzzled me because I didn't really know what to do with it. And it is backlit. I'm gonna come over here and show you. We decided to put tall plants on this just because it needed some height, because this window is really big. So we put this is, gosh, what is the name of this plant? Thematophyllum, gosh, it's gonna bother me. Thematophyllum something. Look at this new leaf, how cute. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. And it looks like it's trying to put out another one down here. Anyway, the thing I wanted to update you on with this plant is we did like a miniatures project when Adam and Nicole were here, and Adam's was this little bird feeder, and I just fell in love. It is so cute. So I just hung it right there, and I just think that is literally the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The Ficus shiveriana got moved over here too, and I think it's gonna really enjoy all of the light that this window has to offer. Look at that. When I'm not having to diffuse the light because of filming, this window gets really great light all day because it's a south window. Transparently, everything on this table, with the exception of that bromeliad back there, I wouldn't care if it disappeared. It's almost to the door. I think I'm just gonna list them on Marketplace and get rid of them because I just need to do it. I don't care about these plants, and I haven't for a really long time, and I've kept them because they're easy and they haven't given me any problems. But just because a plant is easy doesn't mean that you have to keep it, right? So they're gonna go at some point. This is motivating me to work towards getting rid of them because I'm just over it. Up here are my beautiful tall anthurium. I have 3, so this is what is this one called? I was just talking about it in a video. The falcatum. This one is a longissimulbum. Okay, the most recent leaf. Absolutely nuts. It's so pretty. I love lance-shaped leaves. I've talked about that a lot on my channel about how I love long leaves. So this is definitely new. It's still super waxy. And I think that this is just a beautiful little corner. It's a little bit crunched right now because I've got some extra stuff, but with the elimination of all these plants, I think this area is going to feel a lot less junky. I have some things that I need to give away. This is a giveaway box. I need to put away my heater because we're not using that anymore. And I kind of put this over here because I was filming a video and I wanted it in the background. Usually that goes right there, and it looks really pretty there. This is a tragedy of a plant. It is the Plumanii pastazanum that I bought in an effort to make myself feel better about killing my mammii. And this doesn't really make me feel better. This makes me feel worse, in fact. So yeah, it had a different growth point, as you can see here, and I accidentally broke it off. So I'm not doing great with this plant. I actually kind of just want to throw it away. I'm not really feeling motivated to keep it. Albo Monstera cuttings that I took a couple months ago aren't doing great, to be honest with you. They did not do well with my personal neglect. And the other cutting is right here, and the stems are pretty soft, which makes me very nervous that it's gonna die. I might like last minute rescue mission put it in water, but I might have ruined this, which I'm really sad about, but I do have the plant still, like this. These are some propagations that I took before, so not all is lost, but unfortunately I might have lost this, which is extremely sad because it was a very beautiful top cutting. I'm gonna do everything I can to save it, but due to depression and winter and everything else in life, it's suffered some pretty significant turmoil. I don't know what else to call it. It's not doing great. Long story short, onto the positive. I moved all of my Hoya out of my kitchen and into here because look at all this beautiful direct sun they are getting. So this was actually not my idea. This was Adam's idea. And I was going to give this shelf away. I actually had it completely deconstructed, and prior to that, it had been sitting in my laundry room for probably like 6 to 7 months, just chilling. I love the way that all of these look here, and I do not want to put any more Hoya on this shelf than I already have because I don't want it to look or feel crowded. So we are limited to 9 Hoya here, and I think that they're absolutely gorgeous. I put this one right here. This is a variegated obovata or obovata with splash or something like that. And I put this circle trellis on it and I started training the plant up the trellis, and it looks so good. I don't know why I never did that before. I kind of just let the tendrils fly, and yeah, it looks really good. And I like that that one has a trellis and all of these don't, because I don't know, it's in the middle, it kind of looks like a triangle. I just really like the way that that looks. I think visually, I think it's really great. We have my Splendid here, which is one of my favorite plants in my collection. She has seen better days, admittedly. She used to live up in that corner right there. So the change didn't really change all that much for her. She's now sitting here, and I think that it looks good. It kind of, to me, looks a little bit like an afterthought being here, but I don't really know where else to put it because it has a really long pole. It goes up to the top of the window there. So we'll see, but this new leaf looks absolutely huge. I love to see that the leaf already looks really long when it's still rolled up, because they do tend to grow a little bit more as they harden off. So that's going to be really exciting. Of all plants that I am so relieved survived the thrips, it is this plant. My Thai constellation had thrips so bad, like it was concerning. I actually just cut off this section of the leaf. She had a little bit of a surgery, and it was because it was just crawling with thrips right there. And I knew that thrips live inside of the tissue of the plant, and I just knew that it was infested badly. So I just cut off that piece. And there's a few other leaves that I cut off a piece that looked pretty bad, and I'm glad that I did that. I don't know really if it made a huge difference in the healing and recovery from thrips, but I don't want to say this out loud, but I have not seen any since. So hopefully, hopefully we're clear, and hopefully that was a good move. My gorgeous Albo Syngonium, we're on like Albo Lane here. It is outgrowing this trellis, which I was kind of expecting to happen pretty quickly. Not as quickly as it did though. So I have the other half of this trellis that I could very easily like attach so that it could just go up even taller, but I might actually just chop and prop this and plant it back into the bottom because I want it to be really full again. But in the past, when I chopped and propped my Albo, the plant didn't really regenerate very well. So we definitely have some really beautiful leaves, but what I'm saying is it didn't really grow very well or succeed. I don't know. And as it's growing up, it's less and less variegated. The newest leaf that came out, I guess, was this one. So it does have variegation on it, but not heavily, which I'm not super concerned about because there's definitely leaves in here that have quite a bit and are really happy. But anyway, it's doing pretty well and I'm very proud of it. but I am thinking about a game plan for spring/summer in what I want to do to keep it happy. I probably need to repot this gloriosum pretty soon. This moss pole is so stressful, and the pot that it's in is actually pretty small, so it does not hold up the pole very well, and it has to lean up against the wall, which I don't really love. I would rather it not need that. And as I'm repotting my plants on planks, I am moving the plank to not just sitting on top of the soil, but I'm actually burying it in the soil because we have like zero rot with the wood, and I think it'll be fine. Honestly, I'm not worried about rot anymore. I was pretty hesitant in the beginning of doing plants on planks to have like wood rotting in my pots, but the soil just doesn't stay wet long enough to cause that. So I'm not worried about it anymore. And as you can see, there's a really cute new leaf coming on. And that is after a recent chop, because I chopped this right before Nora was born. And it's put out a couple leaves since then, and it's just really cute. I'm super happy with that plant. I never have to worry about this, by the way. It is a Melanochrysum gloriosum cross, and it is one of the easiest plants in my collection. And despite it looking a little mangled right now, it's very beautiful. Okay, so before we close off, I want to talk to you about my plans for changing up this plant wall. Now, it is absolutely beautiful with how tall it is, but the issue that I run into so often is that those plants at the very top get severely neglected. And I could just put plants up there that only need to be watered like every couple of months, like I did with that jungle cactus over there. But honestly, I don't want to go out and buy all new plants for that area, and then I'll have more responsibility. So what I'm thinking of doing is eliminating this top row and then moving this third row up to be just in the middle right here, and then moving these to be spaced a little bit differently. I don't know. I'm considering eliminating another one, like only having 2 rows, because yeah, some of these plants just like, I could pot them together because there are some duplicates, and also some of them, I don't know if I'm totally in love with them. You know what I mean? Like, do I need to keep it? I don't know. So I am gonna have to do some thinking, but I feel like if I had 2 rows, like just these 2 that are like right here, and I just space them a little bit more, I could have big pot and the plants would be so much more full, and I feel like it would look so much more impactful than these tiny little pots that barely have any plants spilling out. Like, this looks really good, 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 if I haven't pointed to that one already. You know, like a lot of the more full plants, it just looks weird because there's little pots that aren't very full mixed in with the plants that are super full. So anyway, it's just a thought that I've been having. I really like the way that the bottom shelf has panned out, especially with having this little shelf here. It gives me less space to have plants down here, which is a good thing because I don't need to have as many plants as I do. I'm realizing that in my current life stage, I just don't have the capacity for as many plants as I currently have. And it's not to say that I don't want plants, but I'm feeling slightly more minimal for me. It's not gonna be minimal for really anybody else, but I'm feeling like if I could drop my plant number down and like maybe have like 10 to 20 less plants, I think I would feel really good and not feel so overwhelmed, because honestly, I naively thought that I would be able to maintain 150 plants or however many I had, and I just can't. And that's, I don't know, like that's a hard thing for me to admit, but it's just not possible. It's just not fun anymore. And I feel like plants are not only my hobby, but they are also my job. And so I don't want any part of it to feel annoying or inconvenient. And I've honestly felt dragged down and inconvenienced by the way that the wall is configured for a long time. But I felt that since I designed it that way, that I had to stick with the original design. And that's just not true. Like, it just in life, take it as a life lesson for myself. Like, just because you planned something to go one way and you did it for a while and it's not working anymore, you don't have to still stick with that like, even though it sucks, just to say you did. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I do that all the time. Like, I'm kind of stubborn. Not kind of, I'm extremely stubborn, and I don't want to change my plans. So I am going to edit the wall, even if it makes it look less grand. I'm gonna keep the ladder because I love the ladder. I think it's really pretty. Even if I don't need to use it as much, I think it's just beautiful and very cool that I built that. So yeah, we're just gonna change things up and see, I don't know, how things feel. This by no means, not that I even need to say this, but this by no means I'm getting rid of all my collection. Like, I freaking love my houseplants. I'm just changing things to make it so that I can continue to love them through this new life stage. And especially as Nora becomes more mobile, like, obviously things are gonna have to change. I will probably shut the door to this room 95% of the time because I don't want her to hurt herself, and I don't wanna have to change this room too much because I like how full it is and I like the way that I have things set up. But in order for it to be like truly child-proofed, I would have to have like every single plant on the wall, and I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, yeah, just some thoughts that I'm having as I transition, still owning houseplants in a new life stage. I think that it's important to see people's lives changing and altering, but plants remaining, but also plants changing with you and how you care for them changing with you. I don't know, I think that maybe in a couple years I'll have a more profound video to share about my thoughts on this whole process, but for right now, I'm just trying to make it easier for myself so that I don't hate taking care of my plants. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to Adam and Nicole for coming and just doing the most to my plant room. I feel so good about it now, and I feel so much more grounded and just like have a plan for how to proceed, and it really couldn't have happened without them just like overhauling everything and like throwing away plants that I've been holding on to. It's just great. So if you have plant friends, hug them because they're the best. Friends in general who will come and do stuff like that for you, hug them, love them, let them, you know. It was really hard for me to let them do that. Not because I was like not wanting to let go of things, but because I didn't want to be a burden. But they wanted to do it, right? So it's just important to let people help you. And that's a lesson I think I'm gonna be learning for the rest of my life. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry for getting on my soapbox at the end here, but I just felt like I needed to say it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're not already, make sure that you subscribe for more real plant care by a real person for real plant people. All right, talk to you later. Bye.